What's going on, man? You guys are live on the Zach Moonshine Show.
What's up?
What's happening, everybody? What's happening, my brother?
Zach.
How the fuck are you guys, man?
We're hanging in, bro. We're hanging in. Doug and I are in the quote-unquote epicenter here on Long Island, and Dave's in Jersey. So we've been hanging in, man, you know, doing the best we can, trying to be as overly creative as we could possibly be, you know?
Oh, yeah, I heard that, man. Fucking staying alive, dude.
Yeah, oh, yeah, not Travolta.
So tell us, man, you guys have some big announcements about the band, right?
Sure do. You want to tell them, Dougie?
Oh, well, you know, a couple things. We've got Dave Casile back, you know, which is a pretty cool thing, man. Great guitar player, we played with on a previous album, Slaves to Insanity. Freaking, you know, we were writing stuff for the album with Dave, and glad to have him back, man. It's pretty sick what's about to go down, you know, writing-wise and stuff, so I'm excited. Pretty cool stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome.
Is Dave in here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what's up, Dave? Again, Dave dropping in on him, man.
Hi, how are you? I just fucking recently got back with the with Day of Doom and the guys, and it's been working out pretty fucking well. Got some pretty crushing shit in the mix.
Hell yeah.
No doubt. We're very happy to have Dave back. You know, he's a brother, and Doug and Dave play so sick together, and the ideas they've been coming up with and all that stuff is great. But you know, even more importantly, you know, it's friends get back together, especially in shitty times, and good things happen out of it. So it's definitely been a positive. You know, totally thankful for that.
Fuck yeah, man. Speaking of some new stuff, man, and any idea of like when we could be looking at hearing some new music from you guys?
Well, we right now we're demoing up a bunch of stuff. Have a whole nother album's worth of drums pretty much done, you know. And Doug and Dave are coming up with crazy stuff. And as I said, you know, we're trying to turn this into a positive, and with technology, be able to send, you know, tracks and send stuff back and forth. We've been, I believe, more productive than even when there wasn't this bullshit going on, you know? So I would say maybe next year, you know, I mean, when it's ready, it's ready, but we've been crushing it lately. The guys can chime in on that.
Yeah, it's actually been really good. Thank God for technology, man, because we're able to just record, do everything that we need to, and shoot everything back and forth, record videos, get ideas. We don't even have to be in the same location. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of bands putting out like these videos and stuff where they're jamming with each other over Skype or something like that. I don't know how they're doing it, but like Charlie Benante from Anthrax, man, he's been putting out a bunch of videos jamming with the guys from Testament.
Dave, do you want to break the people's hearts, or do you want me to tell them how they're doing it?
Oh yeah, it's not. I mean, as far as the people doing it online, they're not really doing it online. They have their own connections that they're running to, and they're basically connected directly with computers. And you know, being a person who doesn't have that capability, unfortunately, through the internet provided in the world today for the standard consumer, it's not capable. It's not feasible. It's not possible.
Yeah, there's a little editing going on. I mean, it's cool.
It's like karaoke, you know, and they're putting the video and editing, and I think it's very cool. I mean, watching these guys doing Free Will the other day, fucking awesome, you know.
They killed it.
Love it. Yeah, but it's that, you know, we tried it, man. We tried this site, and it literally was just insane. It's not made for metal. You know, anything with double bass and high BPM beats.
We could play some Pink Floyd if you want, but anything beyond that, it gets a little hectic.
But,
yeah, I can imagine.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do the whole Animals album.
But I mean, that is cool that you guys are able to do what you're doing, you know, right now with just sending tracks back and forth to each other and mix it up. You know, I mean, it's better than nothing, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. It keeps you from going insane, you know, and keeps you productive. And I mean, we love to do it anyway, you know.
Hell yeah. Now, as far as this fucking the COVID-19, man, with the live shows and everything, how do you feel like that's gonna impact you guys in the future? Do you have, I mean, how are you looking at that, and what are you talking about it?
Well, I think forget about the future. It's impacting all of us right now.
Yeah.
Present day. I mean, we can't even rehearse, you know. I mean, things that we, you know, people are then losing money and all the stuff, and we're very aware of everything. And I mean, before all this, I mean, Corona was just a shitty beer that was left at the end of a barbecue, and it was like 100 degrees out, and you had to drink something. Or it's where I went to Corona, Queens, and went to the Ice King, you know, got ices and shit, you know. And now it's just like, what the fuck, man, you know. And as far as the touring goes, I mean, we're at as much as everybody's got their own suspicions and this and that and their own ideas. I mean, let's all be honest about it. Until you see on Facebook, oh, back to your regular scheduled program, that's it. We're all in the same box together. We're basically under control of what people want to do. But if you want to take a risk and go out there and possibly get sick and die or infect people that you know and can kill them, and there's no funeral or anything for them, you can have that on your conscience if you like, and you can come out here and put some disinfectant on this motherfucker. No, thank you. You know what I mean? And until people get over that hump, it's going to be a little rough, man. But that's where yourself, not only the band, and I could speak on the guys' behalf, we feel very fortunate that in the scene that we're in, the metal scene, we are an army. We are resilient. We always have been. We always will be. People will come out and people will support. And then, you know, suits will follow as the time goes along and people will start coming out more. But I believe metal in general is going to be very vibrant. I think you're going to hear a lot of new music from a lot of bands, and it's not going to be flooded. It's going to be people being creative at a really shitty time. And a lot of times that's when you get some people's best shit. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people still doing the same shit, too. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't listen to radio or nothing that's going on TV or anything, and they're just going about their daily lives. You know, not to say that there's not something, you know, definitely going on, you know, but I think as soon as it gets warm out, you're going to have a hard time keeping anybody inside. You know, I think especially, you know, between 12 and 20, you know, there's no way you're keeping them inside no matter what's going on in the news once the summer months rolls on. So curious to see what will happen, you know, with all this chaos.
I think we're resilient, man. I'll say it again. I think the metal scene is resilient. All forms, definitely. No matter what category, no matter what, we've all always supported in all different ways, and you know we're appreciative of it, and everybody out there listening, and you doing this, bro. You know what I mean? And we know this is sanity for you too and your family, and hell yeah. You know, we want to say thank you, you know, and we can all do this together and get through this fucking shit.
Oh yeah, thank God for the radio, man. Hell yeah, thank God for the devastation.
Yeah. I always say it, man. We should make a shirt that says "Say thank you to music." Every day we should all say thank you to music at least once. At least now. Shit.
And pizza.
And pizza.
If you saw the chat right now, we're all talking about pizza.
Man.
Oh, man. And pizza, yes.
Yeah, if I didn't have...
It changes everything, man. Just bring pizza anywhere. And it just brings happiness into the equation. Just add a fucking pizza, man. Show's over. Everybody's cool.
Yeah, if I didn't have pizza, beer, and fucking metal during this whole fucking thing, I don't know what the fuck I would have done, man.
Right on. We're with you, brother.
Well, I got some questions for you coming in from the chat room, man. Fucking, let me see here.
Yeah.
Vicky Grandy, she's obsessed, man. She wants to know, what do you guys like better, bubble baths or showers? Very important
I'll let
question.
these guys go first because I want to dissect that in my brain for 2 seconds. Go ahead, guys, jump on that.
I haven't showered or bathed in like 4 years, so you know, I have to be ultra cult, you know, in order to.
That's true. I smell him from here often. I do smell him from here.
And yeah, he smells him and Dave's in fucking Jersey. Go figure that. Toxic waste. We love New Jersey. We love this Jersey scene. But for me, I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. What's yours? I got a few seconds to think more.
I'm sorry. I gotta take bubble baths. You know me. I gotta be ultimate.
Yeah.
It ain't easy being this cute.
You're right. You need to be pampered. I know you, Dave. I know you. I know. Full manicure. But let me think. I don't know. Sitting in some filth with Mr. Bubbles in it. I'm going with the bubble bath because I want to do like you're asking me right now, Zach. Right now, Vicky, to answer you, I'll go straight up, Mr. Softy. I'll put the bubbles on the top of my head and shit. I don't even care.
There you go, Vicky. She also wants to know, how long have you guys been playing music?
Gosh.
Wow. That's a go back in the memory banks. All right, I guess I'll start this one. I've been playing the drums, involved with playing music, been around music since an infant. And that's no joke. I mean, gotta drop it on them guys. You know, as everybody knows who knows us, and some may not, I'm a huge Kiss fan, and came onto this planet February 8th, 1974, the same day Kiss's first album was spawned, and it's been on ever since. Listening to Kiss Alive with my older cousins, so I would say from 4. As Day of Doom, we just about a little bit over 20 years together. We've known each other for so many years, and wow, yeah, I've been jamming for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, I'd say at least since I was about 17, you know, with the guitar. My pop gave me a Fender, you know, when I was about that age. I never really took it serious till about my 20s, though, you know. Started, I got in trouble, so guitar was a good way to get me out of, off the streets of all the bullshit I was doing, you know, take it out on the guitar. So instead of on the streets, you know. But yeah, at least, gosh, since I was 17, definitely over 20 years, 30 years, gosh. Forever, metal, forever.
Yeah. And Dave's the freak of nature.
Yeah, I've been playing since about 6, 7 years old, and started on cello. Cello is my first instrument, classical and all that other crap, and then guitar and bass. Used to steal my brother's guitar.
That's it.
Damn, that's
Zach, let me tell everybody a quick story. Dave and Doug will remember this. So I go to put people together for Day of Doom, and remember, we all remember MySpace. Said, I'm looking for a guitarist. A buddy of Dave's sends me a message. I said, all right, what's up with this? And I open it because I got a friend who plays guitar. Okay. Dave gets back to me, and I notice, how old were you, Dave? 15?
14, something like that.
14. Total Zach Wild shit right here, man. And, and what's even crazier is I said, yeah, I got this track, drum track. I did something at the house. He goes, oh, I can record stuff to it. I'm like, 14, he's going to record stuff. All right, I send it to him, and I still have the track to this day. We named it Villain.
Fucked up.
And he sends me, Zach, this track, man, all guitars, bass, guitar solos. I said, yo, why don't you come over and jam? That was my next message. So, and Dave's whole perception on production and everything for the band, I'm telling you, he surpasses me. And I'm learning from him now, so that's an added benefit in this too. And I think everybody's going to be very happy with the next batch of insanity that is Day of Doom.
Hell yeah, man! Fucking looking forward to it, man. Another question from the chat room. Thunderous wants to know about your musical influences.
I just said the same thing. Oh boy.
Oh, I could ramble them off, but people have been hearing me. So yeah, you guys started off. I'll chime in with a few.
Go ahead, Doug.
Oh gosh, just anything from old school punk to old school Maiden, heavy metal, Black Sabbath, a lot of the proggy stuff like trippy, psychedelic rock, Zeppelin, Floyd, but after Sabbath, Cannibal Corpse, Ripping Corpse, Gorgon, Slayer, Venom,
Human Remains.
We just go on and on. All these bands influence me,
Metallica.
I could go on all day,
Rush. Dream Theater. I mean, this list can go on all day. But we also listen to a lot of new bands right now that are inspiring us. Band that we all love. Oh, definitely Down with the Hideous Divinity. Thoroughly insane.
Fuck yeah, that shit was brutal.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard Hideous Divinity, you definitely should. Man, there's a bunch of bands, a lot of great stuff. The new Vader is coming out. Excited about that.
Yeah.
New old bands like New Possessed I've been listening to, which is pretty fucking cool to hear them fucking with the new album out. Freaking still listening to newer freaking Pestilence,
Right on.
New old stuff that these guys are still around and they put new albums out. I love that shit, man. And New Exhorder, I was listening to that a little bit. It's cool stuff, cool shit to see these guys jamming.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm so old school,
Heavy
man.
groove, I dig that, man.
It's an old shit, mostly.
Hell yeah, man.
Right.
Another question from the chat. Lady Cat is in there, and she wants to know, when you guys are composing, what do you consider to be the most important element of your composition to focus on?
Well, first and foremost, that we listen back to it and it has that something where you go, yeah. You know what I mean? It's important that we enjoy it first and foremost, because without that, I mean, it's just doing something just to do something for something's sake, and that's pointless. But I would have to say, getting is the creation of it too. The whole creation of the whole thing. If you guys want to jump in, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's usually pretty much. A lot of things start with either like guitar riff or an idea or whatever, but it's like we just kind of, somebody has something and they just hand it off, and then from there it evolves into something else, and it just keeps growing, and before you know it, it's a brutal fucking song.
There's a lot of different, we could do things all different ways too. So that's the cool thing about it. As far as a solid structure, it really depends on how we're doing it too. How are we going to do this one? How are we going to do this one? Sometimes we'll start with guitars. Sometimes we'll start with just the drums. Sometimes give me a bass riff. It really depends on what we're jamming, what we can throw something to. But it really doesn't matter what we come up with, because we're always going to come up with something sick to it. So it's like, I think, it'll start wherever really we're doing it as we do it, on like a feel too, whatever we're feeling like, is how it all starts,
And the great part about this too is we don't have to buckle down. We don't have to say, oh, we're in the studio and we got this much time booked or whatever. We are Three Demons Records. We are our own record label. We'll put out what we want for everybody, and that's the way it's going to be. We don't have anybody to answer to in that sense, and that's awesome. But we also have to be reasonable with just not going overly insane and not going ballistic and then doing this and doing that, so it just gets overworked and too polished, because we don't want to do that either. But, hey, man, it's going to be sick. I know that.
Fuck yeah, man. Another question from the chat. Where do you guys see yourselves in the next 3 years?
Write music, still write music always, I'll just keep going, until I die. That's, I'm never going to stop. So that's how I look at it. I'm just going to be doing writing, whatever. Maybe we'll do a little mini tour. Who knows? Maybe we'll put 3 more albums out. It's really.
I'm thinking. Yeah, if you're asking me how I see it for this, and you want me in my utmost optimistic, I see us getting this new album done, putting it out, coming to every town, to every single one of you that are listening, And every single one of you in the chat, everybody who's going to hear this later, you should be cranking fucking everything Zach is putting on and destroying everybody, including us and every other band out there. Guess what? I think you're going to see us live. Come out. We'll all have a great time. And then in that third year, work on a new album. Because that's what we do. I just think that it's not just a ABC process. That's not what it is for us. We do that. We do these things like this because we like to do it. And trust me, it's going to be for real. That's what I think. I think in the next couple of years, because like Doug said, there's elements that are going on. You can only keep a lion in a cage for so long, my brother.
Amen. Another question, how many instruments do you guys each play? Do you just play the instruments that you play in your band, or do you play other instruments too?
I play piano. I can play, keyboards. I play a lot of other weird instruments, like waterphones, strange sounding instruments, anything I can play. Bass I'll play. Dave freaking plays a lot of different stuff too, right, Dave? What do you got? You play cello. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I play like upwards of 20 instruments.
I'm a drummer who hums a guitar riffs. That's me.
Yeah, I'll try any instrument. I'll try to master any instrument if I get, if I haven't tried it before, I'll try it. Except for horns and stuff. I'm not really into horns or flutes or anything like that.
No, but in all reality, I've taken up an even further interest in guitar. I've actually mentioned this to the guys. I've actually been looking at a couple just to be able to not do what they're doing, but maybe convey some of the ideas I have, and they could take it to a whole nother level. Because let's be realistic, I'm not going to be down picking, speed picking. It's going to take me some time, just like if I was like, Doug, get behind my kit and grind. Make it happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give him time, it's going to happen, but same shit here with me. I mean, you want me to play, March SOD, or you want me to play, some Iron Maiden or something? Yeah, I could pull that off. I could probably do that right now. But, it's definitely, that's a good question, because these guys will tell you, I am just a deprived guitarist in the drummer's body.
Yeah. Me, I'll play the drums, but if I try to grind, the sticks are pretty much dropped in the first second.
I keep trying to tell him, everybody, he's playing too tight. Loosen up, Doug.
Right on, man. Well, going back to pizza, it looks like they want to know what kind of pizza do you guys like. Well, what's your favorite pizza?
New York pizza. That's it. And
anything with
Long Island, New York pizza, the best.
Yeah, actually, there's a Randazzo's that I used to go to all the time in Nassau County, and Doug fucked up pictures and getting magnets all the time, and but it's just anything with the name Ray in it, famous Rays, Uncle Ray's. Speaking just of Rays, pizza. What's up, Ray Holmes? Got to throw our Holmes in.
Any type of pizza.
Yeah. They will eat some Elio's right now.
Yo, actually, I fucking love Elio's, so yeah.
What about frozen pizzas?
If it has the word pizza in it,
it don't matter.
I'm pretty good. We're good. I'm good.
Oh yeah.
I like Tony's.
Oh yeah.
I love the Tony's.
Oh yeah. Have you ever tried cooking a fucking pizza on the grill?
Never.
Yes.
You never. Dude, I've seen a bunch of people doing it on fucking YouTube. I've never tried it myself, but I've always wanted to, man. I don't know why I haven't.
So the next thing you need is a smoker too, because you smoke the pizza, the cheese actually absorbs the flavor.
Yeah. Is it good?
Huh?
Is it good? Does it taste good when you do it like that?
Fucking, I mean, again, you're asking a guy who'll eat any type of pizza. So,
man.
Fuck,
welcome
man.
to the Zach Moonshine Show.
Making me fucking hungry now.
Where Dave talks about pizza.
That's right. That's it. You hit a sweet spot, bro. Yeah, sweet spot. There you go.
All right.
There you go, everybody. Bring out pizza. Dave wants pizza.
Both of us.
Next time you guys play a show, everybody's gonna show up with fucking pizzas.
Yo, we'll
That's
just have
awesome.
a Day of Doom pizza party.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
The Day of Doom pizza party. Right. I get Doomaroni on my pie.
Doomaroni. Another question. Vicky wants to know if you guys could play with any band in the fucking world, who would you play with?
Shit. I mean, we played with
Autopsy, man.
Oh, that would be badass.
Morbid Angel. I don't know.
We played with more.
Suffocation.
played with
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
we
Played
played
with
Morbid again.
Right? Like,
Yeah. I could say a dream show.
yeah, like throw some weird. We'll throw Kiss, some Sabbath, original Sabbath lineup.
Listen, I'm a Kiss fan. But you want to know what? The way I would look at it is, yeah, we could say all those bands, but, you know, there's not many Kiss fans that are going to start slamming in the pit. You know what I mean? If we start playing. So I'm thinking in my head some bands that we'd be able to play with and have a good time. And luckily, you know, being from Long Island, our brothers in Suffocation and Internal Bleeding and Pyrexia and so on and so on. We've been lucky to share a stage with them. And it's not just play a show, and it's not some battle-let, the band's bullshit. Man, everybody having a good time, having fun and smiling. And I'm just getting ready to go back to that. And that's what it's going to be. So I would have to say the best show right now would be playing with all our brothers and playing an insane show and just everybody coming out and having a great time.
Fuck yeah, man. That's badass. Another question from the chat room. Ginster Bush wants to know, he says this is the most important question for any interview. Bud Light or real German beer?
I'm insulted that you even asked us that question there. What do you think of that there? No, I see you.
Irish beer. Killian's.
Yeah, I'm with Dave. I would go straight to another country. I'll go straight to Guinness.
Hell yeah.
I'm just gonna say fucking whiskey, man.
Things like Doug's like, I'm going to Tennessee.
Yeah, how's this beer? All this beer stuff. What is that?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm drinking Jim Beam right now, as a matter of fact.
There you go, man.
Which is sacrilege because that's sacrilege pretty much because I'm in Tennessee and I'm drinking Kentucky fucking whiskey. But I don't know, man. Tennessee's kind of pissing me off right now with this whole unemployment thing. So I'm like, you know what? I go to the liquor store and I look at the Jack and I'm like,
oh yeah, well, the liquor stores are all essential.
Motherfuckers.
State, not one state worker is staying home.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, brother. Sorry you're going through that, and everybody out there. Just try to keep moving. You know what I mean? Because you know how it is, bro. You know, like we have a saying on stage. You know, once you think you're done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to everybody, but I mean, as Zach is so poignantly put out there when he opened up the show, if you were listening, and let everybody know, and he doesn't stand alone, you know, and the way Day of Doom thinks, and I'm sure my brothers can chime in right here. You want to know something, bro? And this is how I feel. Let's take it down to ant perspective, all right? 3 ants. They're not going to do shit, right? But 100 million ants fuck you up.
You got that right.
You know, so people should start being aware of what the fuck is going on and realize that, you know, there's a lot of people out there. Like, they keep talking about all these other venues that are like airplanes and airports, whatever. I mean, we listened to what Vic said, and these people had back for a lot of years. I mean, you were saying about playing live. We just hope that the venues are still here, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
sad to say like that, but they need help too. You know, because without them, what do we do? You know, we holding backyard parties with wireless systems in the woods. I'm down with it. I'll do it right now. That sounds like a fucking sick idea. Come on, who's down?
Yeah, I know. I was watching something on the fucking news, and they were talking about that they were contemplating putting together some kind of speed test where you get tested for COVID, and then you have like something on your phone, and it fucking certifies that you're clean, that you're okay, and then that way they can get people to go back into basketball games and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, even for something like that, that's going to cut the numbers down big time. And, I can imagine big bands like Metallica or something like that, they'll still be able to fucking fill a fucking stadium. But for people that, for the smaller bands that are just trying to fucking play at the fucking bar down the road, that's going to be tough if they put something in place like that where it's that fucking strict, it's going to be tough, man.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but as I was saying earlier, though, trying to be optimistic, Dave brought up a very valid point where we, the musicians and the bands and artists, whoever, and who perform, and whether it's also, when it's not, let's talk about musicians just straight up who are playing instruments, there's DJs, there are guys losing businesses over this stuff, and we know everybody's got to be safe. It's for the right reason. But what I was saying earlier about the metal community, man, I feel strong with it, just like the dark side. It's within me, it's within all of us. Yeah, exactly. The metal is strong in us. And I believe that Dave brought up something about, what were you saying, Dave, about doing a benefit for venues and just to kickstart and get everything rolling again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Venues should have like bands, do basically benefit shows for the venues that we're playing in. So, we do a show at such and such venue, all proceeds go to that venue to help kickstart them back up. So this way, the bands get to play, we get to fill the place, they get to get the doors filled, and everyone has a good time, and everyone plays, and business picks back up for everyone.
Yeah, I can totally.
And don't be fooled. Like some people will say, "Oh, what are you going to do this for the business for?" Well, as a musician, I can say it again. We need them.
Right.
We need them. Everybody out there needs them. Where are you going to go?
Halloween costume party. Everybody wear a mask anyway.
Right. There you go, Doug. Exactly. I get the covers, Peter Chris.
Can it be a pizza party?
It could be a Day of Doom Halloween pizza party. Spectacular. All right. Book it, Billy.
Can you imagine being on stage and looking out at the crowd and everybody's got a mask on? I bet.
Bro, can you imagine you were standing in a Pizza Hut and people keep coming in covered up?
Yeah, I know.
It's like, I said that to the kid over here. I said, yo, is this bothering you? Listen, Doug, stop doing the chopping of the wood. Stop the chopping of the wood. Do you hear this guy, Zach? He's starting up chainsaws. What are you doing over there? See that? Scared him away.
Yeah. I remember when this whole thing first started, man. I was already getting paranoid, and before anybody was really wearing masks and shit, I was just starting to think about it. I'm like, fuck, man. And I was looking around up in the attic, and I still had a bunch of masks that I bought a long time ago when I was doing the installation. So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well wear one of these motherfuckers when I go to the store. And I wore it to the store, and I was like the only guy in there wearing a fucking mask, and everybody in there was fucking looking at me crazy. They were going the other way. They were like, nobody wanted to be the person at the checkout for me and shit. And about a week or two later, I went in there, everybody had them on, and then I'm like, about time, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, and we...
Bandanas. I see a lot of people with bandanas, man. They look like bandits,
Yeah, looking like they're going to rob the place.
Yeah, you can't tell who's friendly and who's not.
Right. You used to walk into a bank with a mask on. Shit was about to get deep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they don't know what to do.
I mean, the other day, I was just saying to me and my brother were talking. The other day, I had black camos on, black boots, fucking my leather, a black hoodie on, and I have Doug got the Day of Doom masks. We should be having them soon, everybody. You know what I mean? Trying to help out, see what we could donate to. But we're going to see what's going on. But I have my glasses on, bro. Bro, I look like I was Snake Eyes 2.0. It was insane. And I said, I'm not walking into a store looking like this. I look like I'm ready to, the whole thing felt fucking weird. What went from just being, hey, this looks cool, all right, I'm going out, to, someone might take this shit the wrong way. And I don't think people are thinking like that, but a lot of people, but I'm going to,
Yeah, I saw that mask you were wearing with Day of Doom on it, man. Where did you get that? And how can we get one of those? Where do we got to go?
Well, I'm looking into getting some more made. I mean, a lot of these places will do masks like that. You see them popping up all over the internet now, with all the, bad logos on the face mask. They're putting anything on a mask now, just hoping, it's strange to say, but, if the virus goes away, then no one will wear the mask,
I kind of like the masks. They look good.
Yeah, I think I like them. Right, I think they look pretty cool regardless.
Yeah,
a lot of people
they do.
Are wanting just to keep those, so they could keep selling more masks. But it's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that are going on right now. Lots of different merch ideas going on. Not only masks, but a lot of different things.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah,
we're definitely looking into that, and like Doug said, we have a lot of cool stuff we're working on, man. So who knows? We'll just see how we're gonna take it as it comes.
Right on, man. Another question.
We're hoping no one's going to need a mask.
Yeah, hopefully.
Absolutely.
But they do look cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Thanks.
Another question from the chat. Lady Cat wants to know, when you guys are writing a riff, do you ever say, oh shit, I got to dump that because it sounds too much like one of your influences?
Oh, yeah, that's a meter. I mean, make no mistake, we're not going to make the mistake. We're a death metal band from Long Island. I think it would be a crime to try to rip off our brother's Suffocation. And if something comes up and it sounds like them, or even something you would think, because our influences range so much, that it's something that could possibly sound like Yes, or Rush, we're like, But I must be honest, and the guys can give their opinion. That doesn't happen very often, because I just think there is a full-on onslaught of originality, and it's also so organic the way it just happens.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I don't think we really write much, and then we're like, oh, that sounds like so and so. We got to get rid of that. Well, but it has happened. It does happen, of course.
If it does, it's totally not. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But it's not that it would happen on purpose. But if it does happen, it's totally unthought about. I'm sure if we got 5 albums. I'm sure if you listen to something's going to sound like something in there that's just unconsciously influence us to sound like something. Possibly, there's got to be something in there that sounds like something. You know what I'm saying? Because we just have that in us. You know what I mean? Our influences, everything that we play. It's not. I'm not saying that we're just like playing all the riffs from other bands or anything like that. But it's like just what we do. We've been playing this stuff for so long; it just comes naturally to us. So it's like in some cases it may be said that maybe we are actually the influences on some of these other bands. Which is also a good thing too. But it's all good all around.
Right. But I'm going to drop the truth on you, man, and everybody out there. The new album, should I tell them, guys? Should I tell them? All right, I'm going to fess it up. The new album is actually Livin' La Vida Loca, sped up, slowed down in different parts.
You got to spin it back.
Yeah, and then and then it's recorded backwards, so you have to put it on your turntable and spin it the other way to actually hear it.
We also got the rights from Ricky Martin, so it's okay.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah, I had to do some weird things. I'm not proud of it.
Well, for me, coming from the listener's view, I listen to so many different bands and I hear so many different songs, and I've been listening to metal for so fucking long. Every now and then, I do hear some similarities in some band, some riff from this or that. It's just, I think it's just natural, though. I don't usually get, I can't remember a time where I got pissed off and was like, fuck this band, they just ripped off so-and-so. Like, I might notice it and think, well, that's cool. They're just, showing tribute, or maybe that's obviously an influencer. What the fuck ever. But, I mean, how many fucking riffs can you fucking come up with?
I've had people say, "Oh, that sounds like Slayer," or "That sounds like old school Metallica." So, hey, man, it just comes to me naturally. It's like it's just there. And to me, it's like, oh, it does. I mean, it's not anything that they would have written, but it just sounds like something they might have written. So that's good to me. If it has any feel of my favorite bands, if anybody sees anything that sounds like, it just feels like one of my favorite bands, that's a good thing to me.
And not only that, I've watched videos and seen things obviously on the internet with bands talking, and when we get into it, it isn't like Doug. Dave doesn't go, Doug, I want you to play that C, play that part, play that C, play that, and Rich, play that 9/11 part and whatever. No, we get together. It's like, yo, play the Cynic part. All right, yeah. Now it's going to turn into D flat. Play the D flat part, and immediately you register to that band, not to rip them off.
Yeah,
it's for the influence that they are. It's not just one song. I'm hearing like Under the Blade, and he does like play, go with the Flash fucking beat. Try something like that. I'm hearing the whole Under the Blade album. In my head.
One time too, like, oh, that sounds like something fucking that riff you just did sounds like something fucking Ripping Corpse would have wrote back in the late '80s. I'm like, so now when we refer to that part, he'll say, play the Corpse part. Play the Ripping Corpse part. Nothing that Ripping Corpse wrote just sounds like something they would have wrote. So right, it's like, fucking, exactly. That sounds sick. Fucking sick.
Right. It's that flavor, that feel, that influence. That's the influence. The love is the music.
Oh yeah, man. Hell yeah. Another question from the chat. Lady Cat wants to know, what was it like playing at Gussie's Bar in Astoria, Queens, that is now actually closed down permanently because of the virus?
Oh, it was a great time. We got to play Lady Cat Chaos, his birthday, and we want to say, Lady Cat Chaos, feel better. Definitely, we were all thinking about that. And great times there. We
played a couple times, I did, right?
Yeah, man. And it was a fun time, and it was a nice little spot, and that's unfortunate that those little spots where you get to go back and jam and, have some fun on the stage and everybody's up close, they might be annihilated, man. I can't, there's no way to, it's basically a big pile of shit with some chocolate icing on top right now.
Bring back garage parties, man.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Old school warehouse factory party, man.
Let's get some long cords. You don't have to be near me.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Another question. Mike from Gravehuffer wants to know, what show was life-changing or really influenced your playing?
What show
for
was
me, yeah, Dave, I'm sorry.
I mean, do we mean like for us to play or that we saw?
I think he's talking about like a show that you saw live.
Yeah, that I want to do that. I got what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. I went to like one of the early Ozfests when I was a kid, and just going to one of those festivals when you're young, it's like, oh, this is what I want to do.
We with Doug were at that show. We were drinking beers already. Don't we feel old right now, Doug?
For me, it was that band Morgoth, man. So that band Morgoth I caught was probably one of the first death metal bands I saw live. I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw them. It just totally changed everything for me. I just wanted to look like those sickos up on stage, man. Those guys was just blew my mind. I was very young when I saw Morgoth, and I think at the time too, no one even freaking heard of Morgoth. They came all the way from freaking, it's freaking Sweden or stuff.
Sweden, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Or Norway. One of them.
Somewhere. But and they were playing with like Slayer. It was like Slayer, Biohazard, a bunch of other bands. But Morgoth opened up, and somebody was like, "Oh, go in there. There's some crazy music playing, death metal." And I'm like, "What's that?" Drunk. Going there. It was probably nobody in there when they were playing. It was like the sun was still up, and I was just like, "What the fuck are these guys doing, man?" It was the sickest thing ever, dude. It was just so sick. I was like, "Oh, I gotta fucking do that," And other shows too, like seeing Slayer, Kerry King, seeing those guys.
Yeah.
Stage. Just as a kid, it's just like, what the fuck? I imagine, I just look up at those guys like, fuck, man, that's so sick. Maiden, all those guys.
Let me tell you, man. For me, the moment of this is it, and this pretty much the scene that I'm going to describe, and it's out there on the internet for everybody to watch on YouTube. And if you want to see it, you can witness it for yourself through time and watch it as a time capsule. But being there to see Slayer completely destroy, not them personally, just myself and everybody else who was a person at this show, Felt Forum, 1988 with Danzig opening, South of Heaven tour, complete and thorough annihilation. And seeing that go on, I said, I want to play fast. I want people to look like they're a swarm of bees just attacking their victim. And it was that was eye-opening. And like Doug said, also going to the world-famous Sundance and seeing Slayer do around the shows just before Caesars in the Abyss came out. And if those of you who know the famous club Sundance from Bayshore, wow, Slayer in there, and those of you who were listening that were there will know that was just literally, no pun because we're talking about Slayer, but a war zone.
The good old days.
War! Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Bombs going off that night, definitely.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, guys, I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to add? Let the people know.
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to say.
I wanted to hear what Dave said too. What Dave was going to say on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought Dave said he went to the Ozfest.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Dougie. There you go. See, Dougie's getting. That's why he's the oldest one in the band. Yeah, he's getting senile. Oh shit! You better start learning these riffs before you forget them. But everybody out there, we want to say thank you for the support. Thank you, my brother, everybody listening, everybody out there. 20 years, Day of Doom. Couldn't have done it without all you guys. If you want to, you can. We'd appreciate it if you head over to Day of Doom and the #1 at Bandcamp. Right now, we have a $4 digital sale on our albums. So, trying just to do the right thing and everything's flowing. You could download and stream Dave Doom pretty much everywhere. Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, on and on and on. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube and also Instagram. So you can pretty much hit us up everywhere, and we really appreciate it. As far as management promotion goes, again, we want to send out a feel better and hope you get well to Lady Cat Chaos. Yeah, she's been holding it down with Casperia Promotional Management. And also, once we get back to our regularly scheduled programs, and trust me, everybody, we will. I'm telling you. I have a good feeling about it. And you can hit up Bill Eckhoff at Doom Entertainment 666, and we'll be coming out and destroying any place. Or, we can even do it even nice. We could come out and we can have a what, Dave?
A fucking pizza party, please.
There you go. A pizza party.
Day of Doom is here.
Yeah. Doom around.
Right on, man. Well, before I let you guys go, I got to get you to make us a station tag, all right?
You got it. I'm ready to scream right now.
Whenever you're ready, say something like this is Day of Doom, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. This is Day of Doom, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thank Thank you all, man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Stay safe. Stay evil.
Well, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Day of Doom for these motherfuckers so they can go fucking crazy, all right?
Hell yeah.
That's it.
All right, man.
Fuck everybody. Turn it up loud. Again, thank you all for the support. You freaks rule.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Later, brother.
There you have it, folks. Day of Doom live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. That was a killer fucking interview, man. I always enjoy talking to those guys, man. I don't know how many times I've had them on the fucking on the show. I think that's like number 3 or 4. I don't fucking know, man. I've lost count by now, but you know what? Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your fucking neighbor's driveway. The good thing about this quarantine is nobody can fucking leave, so you can fucking piss people off and they can't do shit about it. Just crank it the fuck up. Put your speakers in your fucking windows, man. I ain't fucking kidding. Crank it the fuck up, man.
Oh,